I'm out of here.
Remember when we counted down 10 TV stars who walked away from hit shows? Well, turns out Hollywood has a never-ending supply of actors who either chose to leave or got shown the door. Today we're back with part 2, 10 more TV stars who left hit shows. Some went on to bigger things and others struggled to find another role that stuck, and a few vanished faster than their reruns. If you missed part 1, don't worry, the link's in the comment section below, and yes, we broke our timeline rule for a couple of these because your suggestions, especially number 1, were just too good to pass up, so keep them coming. Before we jump into the drama, hit like and subscribe if you love retro TV as much as we do. Now, let's get into the countdown. Number 10, Cindy Williams, Laverne Shirley.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hudson Bev Incorporated.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it.
You can't talk classic sitcom duos without Laverne and Shirley, the bottle cappers from Milwaukee's Shot Brewery who made Milk and Pepsi a thing and turned working-class mayhem into primetime gold. The show premiered in January of 1976 as a spin-off of Happy Days and quickly became a ratings juggernaut, even beating its parent show at times.
Oh, Fonzie, my, this is a pleasant surprise.
Of course.
As Shirley Feeney, Williams played the grounded, no-nonsense half of the duo, while Laverne, played by Penny Marshall, was impulsive and street-smart. Shirley was the practical one, with a strong moral compass, a deeply rooted sense of right and wrong, and a soft spot for sentimental touches, like her ever-present stuffed cat, Boo Boo Kitty. She was the kind of best friend who tried to keep things from spiraling too far off the rails. But off-screen, things weren't so balanced. Williams was pregnant with her first child, struggling under the pressure of the show's relentless schedule and reportedly butting heads with Marshall.
I will say, and there were terse moments, but we always got through them, and we always, once we hit that stage.
When Williams asked for a lighter workload to accommodate her pregnancy, the producers basically said, yeah, how about no? So she walked, appearing in just 2 episodes of season 8. In a rushed farewell, Shirley suddenly gets married, announces she's pregnant, and disappears from the show with nothing more than a note saying she's gone to join her husband overseas. No heartfelt goodbye, no final scene with Laverne, just gone. The show limped through the rest of the season as just Laverne, but let's be real, it was like peanut butter without the jelly. The spark that made the show work had vanished. Williams kept acting, starring in Normal Life, Getting By, and popping up in 8 Simple Rules. She reunited with Penny Marshall in 2013 for a guest spot on Sam and Cat and published her memoir Shirley, I Jest in 2015. She passed away in 2023 at age 75. As for Laverne and Shirley, it's now a classic case of what happens when you split up a sitcom dream team. Some pairs just don't work solo, like Laverne and Shirley or peanut butter and jelly. Number 9, Steve Carell, The Office. At number 9, it's the man who made That's What She Said a workplace hazard, Steve Carell. He turned TV's most inappropriate boss into one of its most beloved characters and then walked away, leaving the rest of us sobbing into our Jim and Pam t-shirts. Now yes, The Office falls outside our usual 70s, 80s, and early 90s sweet spot, but let's be real, you asked for it, and honestly, few TV exits hit harder than this one. Launching in 2005, The Office ran for 9 seasons, but for the first 7, it was Carell's show. As Michael Scott, he somehow made a clueless, needy, wildly inappropriate manager deeply lovable. Whether he was screaming his financial truth,
I declare bankruptcy!
hosting the Dundies, or just trying to be everybody's best friend, Michael Scott was cringe comedy at its finest.
That's what she said.
Week after week, Carell turned awkward silences and painfully bad management into TV gold. The Office became a full-on cultural phenomenon, proving that Scranton, Pennsylvania, my home state by the way, could be the most chaotic, hilarious place on earth. Okay, quick sidebar, but I have to say it. My favorite recurring Michael Scott bit was how much he hated Toby. Honestly, I'm still not totally sure why.
Toby has been cruising for bruising for 12 years, and I am now his cruise director. and my name is Captain Bruisin.
Poor Toby. Anyway, back on topic. In 2010, Carell announced he was leaving The Office at the end of season 7, wanting to fulfill his contract and spend more time with his family. Respect. But what's less respectful? NBC reportedly never even tried to keep him. Word is nobody followed up. One of those classic Hollywood I thought you were handling it disasters. They let Michael Scott walk. Whew. His farewell episode, Goodbye Michael, aired in 2011 and hit fans like a truck full of Dunder Mifflin reams. That quiet final airport scene with Pam? If you didn't cry, were you even watching? Sure, the show limped along for another 2 more seasons, but let's be honest, it just wasn't the same. And when Carell returned for the finale, it was like the boss had come home. Cue instant waterworks and a ratings spike.
I feel like all my kids grew up and then they married each other. It's every parent's dream.
After The Office, Carell didn't just pivot, he launched. Foxcatcher, The Big Short, Beautiful Boy, The Morning Show. He pulled off the rare Hollywood magic trick. Serious dramatic cred without losing an ounce of comedy cool. Honestly, it's the most Michael Scott thing ever. Fumble through the mess and stick the landing. Number 8, Lisa Bonet, The Cosby Show and A Different World.
She is.
Do you think she's too young to get married?
Coming in at number 8 is Lisa Bonet, the actress who was just too cool for the Huxtables and may have been a little too real for late 80s network TV. As Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show, Bonet was effortlessly stylish, wonderfully offbeat, and the wild card in a house full of overachievers.
So,
Hey.
congratulations.
While the rest of the family was prepping for Ivy League futures, Denise looked like she'd just come back from studying abroad at a drum circle. Her fashion sense alone is still being copied on TikTok.
Only has his wife to pull the plow for him. But he wants to farm more acres, so he marries more wives.
So when The Cosby Show spun her off into A Different World in 1987, it seemed like the perfect next step. Sending the most interesting Huxtable to college? Instant hit, right? Well, not quite. Bonet starred in just the first season before she was suddenly out. So what happened? Well, it's complicated. Partway through the season, Lisa Bonet married musician Lenny Kravitz and became pregnant with their daughter Zoe. Showrunner Debbie Allen reportedly wanted to write the pregnancy into the show, but Bill Cosby shut it down, saying it didn't fit the wholesome image he wanted for Denise.
She secreted to me that she was actually pregnant. She had married Lenny Kravitz.
And then there was Angel Heart, a dark R-rated film where Bonet appeared in intense scenes with Mickey Rourke, including partial nudity and religious imagery. The backlash was swift, and Cosby was reportedly furious, concerned that the film tarnished the legacy of the Denise character he'd carefully built. Whether that played a direct role in her exit is still debated, but the timing didn't exactly help. Bonet briefly returned to The Cosby Show in season 6, but by 1991 she was out for good, allegedly fired for being too rebellious. Honestly, that might have been the most accurate casting note she ever got. She spent the next several years mostly off the radar, popping up in Enemy of the State, High Fidelity, and a handful of indie projects. She later married and divorced Jason Momoa because of course she did, and quietly cemented her legacy as one of the coolest, most enigmatic stars to come out of the 80s. Even now, Denise Huxtable lives on, not just as a style icon, but as a reminder that sometimes being too rebellious just means being ahead of your time. Number 7, Rob Reiner, All in the Family.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
At number 7, we've got Rob Reiner, better known to 70s audiences as Michael Stivich, or as Archie Bunker lovingly called him, Meathead.
Remember, a daughter can always leave her father and go next door to her own home with her husband. Come on, Gloria.
Why should she go over there with you? I can get better care of her here.
What are you saying? I can't take care of her?
I got the gas and electric here.
I know you got the gas.
All in the Family premiered in 1971 and redefined the American sitcom. As Gloria's outspoken liberal husband, Reiner played the perfect counterweight to Archie's blustering conservatism. He was the voice of a younger generation stuck in a living room that refused to change. Basically every political argument you've ever had with a relative, but funnier and with a laugh track.
Creighton on the American flag. The hell of them peaceniks want anyhow?
Well, I think they just don't like the idea of America fighting an illegal and immoral war.
Well, if they don't like it, they can lump it.
Reiner stuck with the show for 8 seasons, playing the long-haired liberal son-in-law in a house full of generational landmines. But by 1978, he and co-star Sally Struthers were ready to move on. Their final episode, The Stiviches Go West, served as the season 8 finale. Mike and Gloria head off to California, and just like that, the show's central generational conflict went with them. Technically, the Stiviches were only gone for 1 season, but their absence left a huge void. All in the Family continued for 1 more year, but let's be honest, it wasn't the same without Meathead at the table. So what did Reiner do next? Oh, just casually reinvent himself as one of the most successful directors of the 80s and 90s? This is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men. It wasn't a second act, it was a full-blown career explosion. Leaving a hit sitcom could have been a gamble. Instead, Reiner proved that sometimes the best way to win the argument is to leave the table. Number 6, Shannen Doherty, Beverly Hills 90210.
Hi, I'm Brenda. Hi, my name is Brenda Walsh.
Coming in at number 6 is Shannen Doherty, the actress who was the queen of 90s teen drama until real-life drama made her TV drama look tame by comparison. Beverly Hills 90210 ran for 10 seasons from 1990 to 2000 and helped turn teen angst into primetime gold. As Brenda Walsh, Doherty played the dark-haired, brooding counterpart to Jenny Garth's sunny Kelly Taylor. She was smart, passionate, and always about 2 seconds away from a tear-filled monologue about the pressures of being a teenager in Beverly Hills.
Jason, do you think I could tell you anything?
Of course. The older I get, the more I realize.
Brenda quickly became the emotional core of the early seasons, caught between her intense relationship with Dylan McKay, played by Luke Perry, and her fraying friendship with Kelly.
One night in jail is definitely enough to make me realize I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have thought of that before.
Cal.
What? I'm sorry, I don't know what you expect from me. What about friendship?
Fans loved her. The cast, however, that's a different story. Behind the scenes, reports swirled about Doherty's lateness, on-set tensions, and diva behavior. Whether it was fully deserved or blown out of proportion, the message from the producers was clear. By the end of season 4, Brenda was written off, shipped off to study acting in London, a move that's basically TV code for don't expect a callback.
You know what really hurts? Yesterday, Kelly and I got in a big fight and Donna was there.
Doherty later returned to TV with Charmed, where she played one of the 3 witch sisters, until she left that show too amid rumors of more backstage drama. Are we sensing a pattern here? But here's the twist. Brenda wasn't gone forever. Shannen returned to the 90210 universe in 2008's reboot on the CW, reprising her role as a more mature Brenda who had become an actress and theater director. She even joined the cast again in 2019's BH 90210, playing a heightened version of herself alongside the original crew. Shannen Doherty passed away in 2024 after a long and courageous battle with cancer. But for millions of Gen X fans, she'll always be remembered as the original Brenda Walsh. Complicated, compelling, and impossible to forget. We're halfway through our countdown. If any of these exits shocked you back in the day, drop a comment and let us know which one hit the hardest. And while you're at it, hit that like button and subscribe. We promise we won't abandon you like these stars abandon their shows. Now, let's get back to the countdown. Number 5, Anthony Edwards, ER. Sliding into the number 5 spot is Anthony Edwards, the actor who gave us one of the most devastating TV deaths in history, then pretty much disappeared from our screens. As Dr. Mark Green on ER, Edwards was the calm eye in the storm of Chicago's County General Hospital. He was the guy who could deliver a baby, save a life, and crack a terrible dad joke all in the same shift. For 8 seasons, he was the show's moral compass and emotional anchor.
Close your eyes, okay?
Okay.
What do you see?
The sky.
What's up there?
Orion's belt.
Premiering in 1994, ER ran for a staggering 15 seasons, transforming Thursday nights into must-see TV. At its peak, it was the hottest drama on the air and made Edwards one of the most recognizable faces on television. But by season 8, he was ready to trade his scrubs for something else, namely more time with his family and a break from the grueling pace of network TV. Edwards didn't just leave the show, he orchestrated one of the most gut-wrenching exits in TV history.
Remember how much you loved balloons?
No.
I used to buy them for you. And right when I handed them to you, you let them go.
Dr. Green's death from brain cancer was spread across multiple episodes, culminating in that heartbreaking beach scene where he dies peacefully while Somewhere Over the Rainbow plays in the background. If you didn't ugly cry during that sequence, I need you to check yourself for a pulse. After ER, Edward stepped back from the spotlight. He did some theater, picked up the occasional guest role or indie film, but nothing that rivaled his Green Glory days, and honestly, he didn't need to. He gave us one of TV's most beloved characters and bowed out with the kind of grace most actors only dream of. Number 4, Ron Howard, Happy Days.
She's in my English and history class. She knows I'm a junior.
Don't worry, I already took care of that. I totally been left back.
At number 4, it's Ron Howard, the guy who left Happy Days before it jumped the shark and turned that exit into a Hollywood power move. As Richie Cunningham, he was the all-American boy next door. Red hair, freckles, and a tendency to say gee whiz like it actually meant something. Richie wasn't just the lead. He was the heart of the show until the network started tilting the spotlight toward a certain leather-jacketed sidekick. Hey!
Fonzie, thank you. For what?
The Fonz comes through in the clutch. All right.
Happy Days ran 11 seasons from 1974 to 1984, became a cultural juggernaut, and fueled more 50s nostalgia than a jukebox at a theme restaurant. But by season 7, Howard was ready to move on. The writers sent Richie off to the army, brought him back with a wife and son, then had him move to Hollywood to become a screenwriter. Kind of like Ron himself.
I just want to tell you that I love you.
Very much.
Wow, even the Fonz got choked up. Anyway, Ron Howard made good on that Hollywood dream, directing Splash, Parenthood, Apollo 13, Cinderella Man, A Beautiful Mind, and yes, winning an Oscar. He didn't just pivot, he leveled up. Walking away from Happy Days could have tanked his career. Instead, it launched one of the most successful directing runs in modern film history. Not bad for a guy who watched his starring role get overshadowed by a supporting character in a leather jacket. Number 3, Wayne Rogers, MASH. At number 3, we've got Wayne Rogers, better known as Trapper John McIntyre, the charming, wisecracking surgeon who helped launch one of the greatest shows in TV history.
Oh, you're very observant for a laundress.
Listen, I never met a nurse that didn't register.
MASH premiered in 1972 and ran for 11 seasons, becoming a cultural touchstone and ending with the most watched finale in primetime history. But Rogers was only there for the first 3. He played Trapper John as the more impulsive counterpart to Alan Alda's Hawkeye, a duo originally promised equal screen time. But as Hawkeye took center stage, Rogers quietly grew frustrated behind the scenes.
Trap, leaving a war in the middle is very upsetting to those who invited us.
Hey, listen, I don't like a movie. I get up and leave.
After season 3 wrapped, he walked. His final episode, Abyssinia Henry, also marked the surprise death of Colonel Blake, played by MacLean Stevenson. But while Blake got a send-off that left viewers speechless, Trapper just disappeared. And here's the twist. When producers tried to sue Rogers for breach of contract, he revealed he'd never actually signed one. Checkmate. After leaving MASH, Rogers found success elsewhere, starring in house calls, dabbling in TV movies, and even reinventing himself as a financial guru. He testified before Congress and built a portfolio that probably made his old TV salary look like lunch money. Years later, he admitted he might have stayed if he'd known how long the show would last. MASH ran for 8 more seasons without him, but Rogers carved out a second act that most actors only dream about. Number 2, MacLean Stevenson, MASH. And claiming our number 2 spot on our list is another MASH alum, MacLean Stevenson, the actor whose exit from MASH created one of the most shocking moments in television history and proved that sometimes leaving a hit show is the worst decision you'll ever make. As Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake, Stevenson was the goofy, lovable commanding officer of the 4077th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. He was funny, warm, completely disorganized, and utterly human in a way that made you forget you were watching a guy in army fatigues tell jokes about the Korean War.
I am thinking.
One of us has to. Sir, would you mind initialing these initials?
MASH was already a hit by its 3rd season, but Stevenson was restless. He wanted to star in his own show, convinced he could replicate his MASH success elsewhere. So in 1975, he announced he was leaving the 4077th to pursue other TV opportunities. The writers didn't just write him out, they gave him one of the most devastating exits in television history. In the season 3 finale, Radar walks into the operating room and quietly announces that Henry's plane was shot down over the Sea of Japan. No survivors.
Henry Blake's plane was shot down over the Sea of Japan. It spun in. There were no survivors.
No music, no dramatic build-up, and no jokes. Just Gary Berghoff delivering the news and the entire cast falling into stunned silence. It was a gut punch that nobody saw coming, and it remains one of the most powerful moments in TV history.
Hey guys, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Stevenson's post-MASH career is a graveyard of flops. The MacLean Stevenson Show, In the Beginning, and Hello Larry, each one tanking harder than the last. It was like the TV gods handed him a cosmic note that said, "You shouldn't have left." Meanwhile, MASH soared. The show ran 8 more seasons, racked up Emmys, and ended with a finale watched by over 100 million people, a record that still stands today. But here's the twist. In walking away, Stevenson gave the world one of the most unforgettable moments in television history. His on-screen death didn't just break hearts, it broke sitcom rules. No music, no warning, just the quiet gut punch of real loss. MacLean Stevenson passed away in 1996, but his MASH legacy lives on in laughs, in loss, and in one of television's most haunting goodbyes. Number 1, Roseanne Barr. Roseanne. And taking the top spot is Roseanne Barr, the only person on this list to be fired from a show named after herself. The original Roseanne debuted in 1988, ran for 9 seasons, and became a landmark sitcom for its honest working-class humor and sharp-witted matriarch. Barr's Take No Prisoners performance made her a TV icon. Fast forward to 2018 and Roseanne returned to massive ratings, reviving the original cast and proving there was still an appetite for the Connor family. Then came that fateful day in May. A tweet about a former White House advisor got Barr instantly fired and the show canceled despite being the biggest hit on network TV at the time.
Within hours, the highly anticipated return of one of TV's most beloved shows, Roseanne, canceled, and Roseanne Barr effectively banished from Hollywood for this racist tweet.
ABC eventually rebooted the show as The Connors, killing off Roseanne's character off-screen via a fatal opioid overdose. The rebranded series continued without her and without giving Barr any financial or creative credit. Before the scandal, she was one of the most iconic TV moms of all time. After it, she became a cautionary tale about how quickly a legacy can implode. When The Connors wrapped in 2025, the series finale was largely dedicated to Roseanne Connor, but Barr herself was never seen. It may not have been the first time a star got fired from their own show, Valerie Harper beat her to that, but it's definitely the most infamous. And there you have it, 10 more TV stars who left hit shows. Which departure hit you the hardest? Were you team good for them for taking a risk, or team why would you leave that paycheck? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you love this kind of content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more retro TV videos coming your way. Until next time, this is Remember When, reminding you that sometimes betting on yourself is the biggest gamble, and it can either work out or go down like a plane on MASH.